The weather's finally getting much better in the UK, which means it's time to prepare the lawn for summer. Over the next few weeks, it's been rainy and sunny and windy and ice cold and hot, sometimes all within the same day. And I couldn't convince myself to get out of the house and do some work outside. But today, and I think for the next 10 days, the weather should finally be a little bit better and I can finally get out and do some work because I'm sick and tired of looking at my lawn from inside the house. And let me show you what I mean, because seriously, it's pretty bad. Just look at the state of this. Look at how tall this grass is. Just look. Oh my god. Also, look at all this weed. Look at it. Look at my feet. I'm in the jungle. Also, there's all this weed here and there and there and there and there. It looks so bad. And that is just what you can't see. Once I mow this lawn, you're gonna see a whole bunch of patches in there as well, which I need to fix. Apart from taking care and preparing the lawn for summer, there's one more thing I want to do, which is also related to the lawn, so it's going to be in this video, but I can't show you just yet because first we need to mow the lawn so it's visible, so the issue I have is visible. And to do that, I need to get my lawnmower out, and I'm kind of worried. I haven't really tidied up in here in the shed since last summer. I'm terrified to see what's in here. Let's have a first look. Oh my god, this is horrendous. Look at this. Look at the state of this. My goodness. Everything just shoved in there. I do need to tidy up in here and put some storage in here. It's not that there's that many things, it's that there's no shelves, there's no storage of any kind, so it's kind of all thrown in here. It's a complete mess that I need to sort out, but for the time being all I need is these two things over here. So let's get them out, let's mow the lawn, and then I'll show you the other thing I want to be doing. First things first, I'm removing everything in the way so I can reach my lawnmower and my trimmer. Fortunately, I was also able to spot my weeding fork. So, the first job was to remove the weeds, which actually looked a lot more like trees at this point. Once I finished that, I fired up my electric lawnmower and started working on the lawn on the tallest setting possible, because otherwise I was getting constantly stuck. The next step was to trim all the edges that I couldn't get with my mower, and then I decided to put the mower on the shortest possible setting and go for another pass. But I ran out of battery. I want to give it another pass and cut the lawn a bit shorter because I need to see the patches and I can't see them at the moment because I cut them at the highest length possible, and it's still pretty tall, the grass, and I can't really see all these patches everywhere. So I'm going to charge my batteries, but in the meantime let me show you the other thing I wanted to show you. Look at this. This shed is on a plastic grid. I'm not sure if you can tell, we should be able to tell, but it's on a plastic grid, and this plastic grid is placed directly on the lawn because when I bought the shed last year I did it in a hurry, and I just threw the plastic grid on top of the lawn and put the shed on top. There's no proper base underneath. We're going to be building a base in the next video, or maybe the video after, we'll see. But for the base we are going to need to dig a bit of a hole. All that soil, let me show you, is going to go here. So on this side of the lawn, I'm not sure if you can tell, but there's a pretty big dip. So at the moment the lawn is quite tall here. Again, it's not the easiest thing to tell, but if you look over here, look, there's only this much space against this rail, and if you look over here, well, there's a lot more if you compare to this wood. As I said, we're going to be doing the base in one of the next videos. However, today I am going to move this shed somewhere else so I can dig the hole, move the soil where I need it, and all these dips and patches where I'm definitely gonna need some soil. This lawn is definitely not level, so we can use
quite a lot of soil, so instead of buying some extra soil, I'll just dig a hole under my shed, which I have to do anyway. So yeah, let's do that. I have to get everything out of that shed, move it, which is gonna be a whole pain, and then we're gonna start digging before we get back to the lawn when the battery finally charges. Let's do it.
I'm freeing up some space right in front of my outdoor kitchen, and then I take everything out of the shed and place it onto the lawn. Yes, I know, the point of this video is to take care of the lawn, but bear with me, I promise, I will get back to that soon.
Do you see how much stuff that was? Look at this. Just look at all of this. All of this was in here. I need to sort all that stuff out and throw half of it away probably, but that is not a job for today. A job for today is to take this shed out of here and move it over that space next to my outdoor kitchen, which I built last year. And then I'm going to shove everything back in as is, because I need to dig the hole here where I stand, distribute that soil, and then in the next video we're gonna build a proper shed and probably finally organize this piece of Why do I say that? Look at this floor. Look how wonky it is. Look, it's completely uneven. It's terrible. I don't know how this shed is even holding together, because the surface is so uneven. You can't really place storage in here because anything is just gonna fall over, and it can't really take any weight. But hey, at the time it did the job. But now I think it's time to sort it out properly. One thing I haven't considered is how heavy this thing is, which I have no idea. I've assumed I can drag it all the way there. That might not be possible. Let's give it a go. It's very heavy. Oh, come on. Come on. I hope it's still alive by the time I put it back on the new base, otherwise we're gonna be left out with a new base without shed. Come and see what's behind that shed. It's more stuff I need to sort out. Look at the base. Absolutely horrendous. Completely wonky, but there's a whole of a lot of timber as well. Oh god.
I'm moving all of that timber to finally free up the space, and yes, if you haven't noticed, a panel from my fence has fallen off. Anyway, I then move everything I previously took out of the shed back in it because, well, I need to get back to the lawn at some point. What is this video even about?
Okay, everything is now back in the shed. It's full of crap. Not as bad as before. I think I tidied it up a little bit, but the lawn is now ready again to do another pass with the mower. This time cut it a bit short, and then I think we're gonna start digging.
The battery has been charged, so I'm cutting the lawn as short as I can, making it ready for leveling. But just before I start digging, there is a little gravel in the way that I need to collect.
I'm ready to do some digging finally, so I don't need to do much, to be honest, because it's just a shed. It's not going to be very heavy. It's not a car park or anything like that, or even a patio. I mean, it was almost fine without a base, right? We don't need the most perfect base in the world, so I'm only going to do about 80 mil, and this is just to kind of help me figure out how much I'm gonna dig. But ultimately, I need my shovel, and there's nothing to it. I just need to spend some time digging and taking all the soil on the other side when there is a dip. So let's do it.
The hardest part of building a shed base or any other base really is the digging, but I find that digging empties and focuses the mind and it gives me a really good workout, so I don't actually hate doing it. All I'm doing here is moving soil from one place to another and then trying to distribute the soil evenly and level the lawn using my rake.
That might not look like much, but that was about 2 hours of shoveling. Jesus, it's always so much more work than it looks like. But hey, we have a hole. Look, a nice hole right here waiting for the shed base. More on the shed base, as I said, in the next video. The important thing is I have about 8 centimeters of clearance right here, and look, the rest of my garden is a little bit more level and less bumpy, certainly. This is much better than before. I've added soil in other places as well because it was a little bit bumpy. What I'm gonna do now is put this plastic grid back into that hole so that I have space to continue working on the lawn, which is going to be tomorrow.
One eternity later.
And I'm back to work on this lawn, which doesn't really look very good. There's loads of soil everywhere. You don't see much grass at all, but that's why I'm here. So I'm gonna take my rake and I'm going to remove all of the dead grass in here, and this will also help scarify this soil because we're gonna need to plant some seeds later on. So that's kind of the first step, and then I think I'm gonna make some holes in the ground to aerate the soil so the new lawn can grow nice and healthy before actually overseeding the entire lawn. So let's get on with it.
Oh yes, back to why I'm making this video, lawn care. First step, I'm using my rake to scarify the soil and remove dead grass. I've done a horrible job filming this so you can't tell, but there was actually quite a lot of dead grass that I managed to remove. Following that, I'm using my fork to aerate the soil in the least appropriate way you can possibly imagine, but as you can see, it does do the job. Well, or at least I think it does, by leaving plenty of holes in the ground. Finally, it's time for seeding and overseeding. I'm just using the holes in the seed boxes as I find that easier than a lawn spreader.
Let's spread some topsoil anywhere we can find.
I had bought a couple of bags of topsoil which I'm just spreading as much as I can. I was really hoping this was going to cover more area as it does help the seeds, but turned out I didn't buy enough of it. So I think at this stage I'm just wishing everything is gonna work out just fine.
Now let's water it and wait for a couple of weeks.
It's really important to water the lawn regularly after seeding, especially on very sunny days, the best time being early in the morning or early in the evening. I tried to water the lawn really well nearly every day for 3 weeks, and fortunately we've had some rain too.
2,000 years later.
It's been about 2.5 weeks since I left the lawn in a pretty bad state, I think. And so far we have had mixed results. There's grass, there's definitely grass. Let me show you. Like all of this was just soil, but now look at it. There is loads of little grass everywhere. Look. Some of it I can barely see, but it's definitely there. I was hoping for a little bit more growth. Until about a week ago, there was nothing here, nothing. So I thought that I didn't do things right. I thought that it wasn't gonna work. But now there's actually loads of little grass everywhere. Not just there where was the dip. Not sure if you can tell from here, but you can just about tell. Also over here, this was just soil, but there's loads of little grass now, and more is growing. So I think what I need to do is just be a little bit more patient. However, I am going to end the video here because the point was to fix the dip in this grass and plant some new ones, and I think that has worked. Right, obviously we don't have a great lawn yet, because I think it just needs a little bit more time to grow stronger. I will give you guys an update in the next video, because in the next video I'm gonna be right here working on the shed base. I will show you the lawn and how the lawn is going. But for this video, thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you the next time. Take care.